I've often said that game recognizes game. Seems as if Dan Andrews recognizes the game of communist Xi Jinping in China and also Kim Jong-un. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what democratically elected leader goes over to a communist country to celebrate a military parade of China, no less? Also, Bob Carr, former Premier of, I think, New South Wales, was there too. Also Foreign Minister, was there along with Dan Andrews. Both of these people were invited and they accepted the invitation. Gee, imagine getting that invitation from communist China. Hey, Dan Andrews, Bob Carr, we would cordially love to invite you to China's military parade to celebrate the defeat of Japan with us. Would you do us the honor of being in attendance amongst the likes of Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and also Kim Jong-un? Maybe if you get that invitation, you should go, no, I am a capitalist, I am for democracy, and I don't want to support a communist regime. No. Instead, Dan Andrews and Bob Carr have decided to attend. Now, if I was the Prime Minister, this is not like a diplomatic trip. This is their own personal time being invited, no less, and it's sending a statement and a signal to everyone in Australia. Our leaders have been taken over by guess who? Communists. I mean, didn't you guys see? I'm pretty sure people that watch this show, some of you are from Melbourne, that went through COVID, the most draconian lockdown city in the entire world. That was Dan Andrews' state. So when I say game recognizes game, Dan Andrews shaking the hands of Xi Jinping and standing two people behind dictator Kim Jong-un. Here's the photo. Game recognizes game, doesn't it? Now, also, I don't know about you, but if I was the Prime Minister and I saw this, I would go, nah, you stay in China. You're not coming back to Australia. You are a traitor to Australia. You are the former Premier of Victoria, and you are now citing and getting into bed with known communist leaders, a known dictator. They hate the values of the West. So you meandering and socializing with these people, it rings alarm bells, shouldn't it? At least it does to me. A bridge too far. I mean, even former Queensland Labor Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk has slammed Dan Andrews and Bob Carr for attending China's military parade. I mean, they're both just as bad as each other. They're both just as bad as each other, but seriously, Anastasia Palaszczuk calling him out on it. Like, you don't see Anastasia Palaszczuk going, do you? Because I think Anastasia Palaszczuk realizes that her home is here. And it's a bad look for a former premier or just any Australian to go over to a communist country and be philandering around and like showing so much respect to Xi Jinping. If you guys saw the video, Dan Andrews gets off the plane and you just see like the humility, the reverence. The man literally idolizes Xi Jinping by what I saw in the video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on X or even just the media. Like, how could you possibly think this is a good thing? Oh, by the way, Bob Carr marched with the Palestinian dingbats on Sydney Harbour Bridge next to the Ayatollah Khomeini. So it's not out of character really for Bob Carr because he's been signaling this for quite some time. But Dan Andrews and Anthony Albanese are quite close with each other. So I don't think Anthony Albanese is going to condemn Dan Andrews because Dan Andrews is his friend. So we've got politicians cozying up with the likes of communists and dictators. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Did you guys expect this? Yes, we definitely did. The event, marking the 80th anniversary of Japan's defeat in World War II, has been billed by Beijing as a demonstration of China's rising power and global leadership. And guess who was in attendance? Dan Andrews and Bob Carr. Two people back from Xi Jinping. If it were me, it'd be a definite no. I would not be attending that. Like, yes, that's the kind of response that you're supposed to have. Communist China invites you to a China's rising power and global leadership event, and you say, yes, sign me up to that. I want to definitely go. That would be one hell of an experience. You say, hell no. It doesn't fit my values. But we already know Dan Andrews sold his soul to the devil a long time ago. And yet we don't want to revoke anything from him at all. We don't want to condemn him. Well, I'll be the first one to condemn him for sure. But our parliament allows this. Sure, he's not a politician anymore, but he was a former politician. This makes a huge statement. You know what it does for China? It goes, haha, we own your politicians. We've got them. We'll just flash. Because that's exactly what Dan Andrews is. He's a communist. He hates Australia. By you going to this, you hate Australia. This is like traitor level stuff. These two, according to Anastasia Palaszczuk, and I don't like her by any stretch of the imagination, but she's saying she thinks they're both gone to the next level. Yes, they both have. Go there for a holiday. Do your business talks, but there's no need to attend this military parade. It is a military parade. It's not just some business deal. It is a military parade. There is a huge difference there. This trip has also raised concern in the Albanese government, which has previously expressed frustration at Mr. Andrews and Mr. Carr's trip. But yeah, they didn't stop them. Why didn't they stop them? I mean, they stop people from coming into Australia, but they can't stop people from going to China. Hey, do you think that it might have been a wise position for Anthony Albanese and his government to go to Bob Carr and Dan Andrews as former Labor individuals and politicians and go, you two are not going. You two are not going to attend this military parade because of what it looks like for Australia. No, he didn't do that. Again, showing us all that Anthony Albanese is a spineless weasel of a leader. Can't do jack. But you know what? I think he allowed it to happen. He doesn't care it happened. And it's just showing us all exactly what his government is about. Siding up with the enemy. Here you go. Attend a military parade. Kim Jong-un's there too. Why not? What's next? Dan Andrews goes up to Kim Jong-un, has a conversation with him. Next thing we know that, hey, let's bring Kim Jong-un here to Australia. Let's worship and idolize him. Goodness me, this is like next level. It really is next level of stupidity. And you saw Dan Andrews basically groveling at the feet of Xi Jinping. And he was the former Premier of New South Wales. I mean, not New South Wales, Victoria. Wow. Our government needs to get a grip. This kind of stuff cannot be happening. And I think this video or Australians need to share this far and wide and let their anger be known. Because this kind of shit should not be acceptable. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.